Kevin Mitchell.
And Jeremy Williams, bit of a story there. He went out and practiced some problem with the tyre pressure. I don't think some people quite checked it. A bit too high a pressure. It's spatting off. The bike caught fire, quite heavily damaged. They've rebuilt that, and that's the reason for Jeremy Williams' customary, lowly qualifying position.
We'll have to get a new set of teeth, Simon. It's no good. So the riders set off on their final warm-up lap. And leading the way, Carlos Cardus. 55 of Randy Mamola right in the centre of your picture. 6 on pole position, Alex Crivia.
Crivia really, there are another 500 Honda in it, but he really should have the best machine for this race.
Well, indeed he should, and he should know the circuit a bit better than some of the other riders.
That's true, but I don't think our friend Norifumi Abe, I think he'll be on. This is a showcase for him. He'll be wanting to win this one.
Doesn't seem to matter whether Norifumi Abe... Oh, there's right on cue. A look at the twisty Albacete circuit. A difficult circuit to go fast all the way round on. Generally, people are quick through one section or another and then lose a bit on the corresponding other bit of the track.
Yeah, as we saw in the 250 race, and he's come over. This is a good performance. He's in Europe. Everything, the culture is different for him, and he's come here, practiced, not that much practice, and put in a real good performance. He's right there on the pace.
Well, much has been written and said about Norifumi Abe, but I suppose it has to be said that he's yet to live up completely to his considerable promise.
Well, yeah, and we saw. I think it all stems from the Japanese GP when he was, shall we say,
stunning.
Yeah,
he was spectacular in the extreme.
His exit was one of the most spectacular you've seen in a while as well.
It certainly was, yes. His demise from that. He didn't last all that long as far as the British Grand Prix was concerned either.
No, he didn't, but then he came back and put in some solid performances. I know then, it's the way it seemed, I don't know, on the outside, Dale Beatty sort of then insisted that he had 2 bikes because Abe was using his spare machine, so that dropped Abe out of the running for the remaining GPs. But he's back now, and rumour has it that he is signed up for Kenny Roberts' team.
So the riders making their way to their positions on the grid. This race, 16 laps, 16 laps the race distance, but there are 2 races to decide the outcome of this 500cc award. Neil Mackenzie looking very relaxed on the grid. Alongside him, John Reynolds, both be wanting to do very well. Neil Mackenzie said to me the last time I spoke to him, he's fed up with finishing 7th and 8th. He wants to win a race for a change. It's a long time since he's done it, but he's in with a chance here.
And here we go.
The lights go green, charge down towards the first corner. A good start from Neil Mackenzie.
He came across
lost a bit of ground, and it's Alex Crivia that leads. Norifumi Abe is first into the corner. Neil Mackenzie slots in 3rd place.
Bad start by Reynolds. He lost a lot of pace in the first corner. He's down in about 6th or 7th place.
Norifumi Abe leads the way.
You see again, Neil looks like he gets off the line good. He tries to come across to take the lead, but I think he just lost a little bit of drive. You see the front wheel coming out, and he had to check that, and he just lost a few paces.
So Abe leads. Crivia in 2nd place. Mackenzie in 3rd spot. Behind Mackenzie, Carlos Checa on the number 77 bike.
Reynolds up to 5th. No, it's not Reynolds.
Neil Hodgson.
Sorry, number 9. Look, there's 2 Padgett machines in the race. And we'll come for a minute.
Through into 3rd place has gone Carlos Checa, relegating Neil Mackenzie into 4th position.
Oh, and Checa nearly goes down. Did he get away with it? He did, but that was a huge moment there for Carlos Checa.
Out front. Yeah, I thought for a minute there that he might have taken Neil Mackenzie with him, but it seems that they got away with it. But it means that the 2 race leaders have got a bit clear.
And Reynolds has overtaken Randy Mamola to move up the pace and onto the back of Neil Hodgson, as we said, also on a Padgett machine for this race. So 2 Padgett machines.
Oh dear, oh dear.
And are they a little moment?
The 500cc Yamaha shaking its head then. Crivia moves alongside Norifumi Abe's back wheel going light as Abe breaks for that corner. Oh dear, how did he get away with that? It's still Norifumi Abe that leads. But no, it's not anymore.
Wow.
Well, heart-stopping stuff at the front of the field from Norik Abe. Checker in the third place. It's Crivier that leads. Checker is third. Neil Mackenzie in fourth position.
Abe doesn't look under control to me, Paul. His lines don't look quite right and everything, but he's just like 100%. He wants to win this one. Look at the bike protesting again.
Well, that's not set up right, is it?
Well, I don't know about that. And Reynolds passed Hodgson up to fourth place. I'm not sure it's just machine setup. I'm sure he's riding tactics.
I think fifth and sixth.
Sorry.
John Reynolds and Neil Hodgson. That's Randy Momola.
Familiar style there, Paul.
Familiar style, hanging right off the bike. Alex Crivier leads. Norifumi Abe in second place.
Crivier looks good and under control as he has done all year, and Abe fully committed.
Fully committed. That's the polite way of looking at it. We're looking at Neil Mackenzie.
Neil's still in there with the factory machines because his bike, although it's got some ex-factory parts on it, not a full factory machine, and another moment for Carlos Checker there. Checker
Sat up halfway around that corner.
Abe in position, he'll get in the draft, and he's going to look at his big moment. Look at that, the earlier moment from Checker there.
Rear end stepped out then, through. No, he doesn't. I thought Abe was going through then.
Going through maybe being the operative word.
Oh dear, I'm worried about that boy.
Oh, Dipping. Another moment. He's all over the place. He gets up the inside. He takes the lead. Is he going to stay on the bike?
How did he do that? How did he do that? The new race leader, Norifumi Abe, from Alex Crivier.
Look under. I mean, look at him. He's so low on the brakes. He just comes in and just like Crivier, no choice but to give way. So
deep into the corner.
Look at the look on his face there, Paul.
And Neil Mackenzie back with Carlos Checker.
And Reynolds there in fifth place, yeah, and he's Barros now up to sixth, so Hodgson down to seventh.
But for Neil Hodgson, all part of the 500cc learning curve. This is Norifumi Abe. Well, you can certainly not say that he's not exciting.
He doesn't. He gets he's a terrific angle of lean to what his riding style gives in the corner, so he'll be working his tyres very, very hard.
Still not a very long race by 500cc standards, only 16 laps.
True, but they'll use softer compound tyres, you know, so the same problems will occur.
Mackenzie on that Rock Yamaha, fastest lap of the race.
1:33.5, half second outside the pole time.
Abe from Crivier. Checker, Mackenzie.
Then John Reynolds, I think. So the Brits putting on a good performance, Paul.
Yep, terrific stuff from the British riders in this Superprestigio 500cc race. Carlos Checker in third place, Neil Mackenzie in fourth.
And Neil's plan's uncertain for next year. I know he wants to stay in 500GP, and he's proved that he's still a contender.
I know Mackenzie's had a very long career, never won a Grand Prix race through on the inside to take third spot. Neil Mackenzie, nice manoeuvre there from Neil.
Tight, there wasn't a lot of room for that, was there, Paul?
But through nice and clean.
Oh yeah, totally under control.
Neil Mackenzie, in fact, he's a very controlled rider, Neil Mackenzie, isn't he?
A lot of experience, you know, he's been around. I mean, he's actually and the new fastest, as I say, at 2 Abe, which is almost the same as the pole time. They say Neil was the last did Superprestigio in 1984 when he won it, when it was a 250 race.
That's absolutely right. So a 10-year gap for Neil Mackenzie as far as the Superprestigio is concerned.
And in fifth place, John Reynolds is coming under pressure now from Alex Barros.
Abe does look as if he's settled down just a little bit. 4 laps gone. Norifumi Abe leads. Alex Crivier in second place. Neil Mackenzie in third spot, but still being pressed by Carlos Checker.
And again, you see how bumpy the circuit is there on the braking. The machine's twitching and protesting. It's very difficult to get the suspension set up just right for that many bumps.
Very uneven surface.
Trouble is, Paul, if you set it right there, maybe not good in other places on the circuit.
Absolutely, it's always a compromise, isn't it, setting up a motorcycle. Still, Norifumi Abe leads
Oh dear, I thought he said he settled down there.
Well, yes. I thought he had for a while. It doesn't look as if that bike's set up perfectly to me.
I think it's the way he puts the power down there, Paul. He's a very, very aggressive rider. I mean, yeah, he's got the backup of Kenny Roberts' team. You know, they've got all the telemetry and everything on the bike, so they should be able to get the setup spot on, really.
They should, as our Spanish colleagues have a word there with Cito Pons, former World 250 champion.
And the team managed by Alberto Puig and Carlos Checa at this meeting.
Alex Crivia now has set the fastest lap of the race,
which is quicker than pole.
So the pace is certainly hot out here at Albacete.
And these two seem to be dropping Neil Mackenzie. And there's one rider on his own there. Is it Neil or Checa?
Mackenzie.
No, it's not. Neil's gone.
Oh, what a disappointment. Neil Mackenzie out of the race.
We don't know what's happened to him. We'll have to see if we get him some information on that. But that's very, he looks so stable on the bike. And Crivia, look for the lead here. No.
Keep an eye out as we go around to see if we can see the bike stopped anywhere out on the circuit. Still Abe from Crivia.
The Honda superior acceleration we've seen all year in Grand Prix racing should tell around this track. But then we've got Abe's superior determination to just about anybody, I think.
Well, he's young and hungry. He wants to win.
And Barros now closing up on Checo in third. He's dropped John Reynolds a little bit.
John Reynolds in fifth place. Still up in the top five. Disappointment then for Neil Mackenzie. But let's just have a look at the front of the field. Still Norifumi Abe from Alex Crivia. Third place man, Carlos Checa. And he's out on his own. That's always difficult, isn't it?
Yeah, because like Barros can see him and he's trying to close in on him. And he's got to try and maintain his pace. He's got to read his pit boards and keep his lap times consistent.
John Reynolds was confident that he could run with the front runners as Crivia makes a move to try and go up the inside. He doesn't make it this time.
He's on the quicker bike, definitely, for you see they came on at the start and finish. Superior speed of the Honda told, but the superior braking of Norifumi Abe counted at the end of the straight.
But I think Crivia is probably just testing things out to see where he can go by, because as you say, that bike is definitely quicker.
But if I was him, I'd want to try and get by. Maybe if you know, if you can open up a little cushion, because if this comes to a last lap shootout, Norifumi Abe will try everything to win this race.
You were talking about different lines around that corner. Norifumi Abe took a line that was most extraordinary then.
I think he's got a different line around every corner on every different lap.
That's the gap between Alex Crivia in second place and Carlos Checa in third spot.
Who has been caught now by Barros. An impressive showing by Barros. He's had to change machines. He's gone onto a private rock machine for this race. So, you know, that's a good performance, I think.
Meanwhile, the battle for the lead between Abe, the 19-year-old Japanese heavy metal freak, describes himself as, and Alex Crivia.
Shall we say he's calmed down again a little bit, or we won't mention that?
Onto the start and finish straight, and you can see, yes, you can see the speed advantage of that 500cc Honda.
But Abe having none of it, so late on the brakes. See, actually at that point, you know, Abe loses time there. He's between from the right to left flick, but obviously there's no room for Crivia to come through, even though he's actually quicker at that point. So it looks like Abe's actually coming in a bit too hot on brakes there.
Crivia's got to figure out where he can sneak through.
And what line Norifumi's going to use this lap? Quite a good one, wasn't it, that one?
That one wasn't bad, but it was completely different to the one he took from before.
Oh, dear.
Again, the Yamaha shaking its head in protest at the punishment being meted out by Abe. Abe, Crivia and Checa, Barros and Reynolds.
Presumably Neil Hodgson's still in 6th place.
Oh, we certainly hope so.
Interestingly, on a Paget's machine there, I think the baby there.
Even I can recognise a baby. I wonder if that's Randy Momola's little baby.
I'd say it is, because I think it looks very newborn.
Randy Momola, a dad for the first time just about a week ago, I think.
Do you think that looks like Randy?
Who knows?
Anyway, just quickly on Neil Hodgson, he's on a Paget's machine
Got about
this week.
as much hair as Randy Momola.
So on a Paget's machine this week, he has rode for Harris's before, so, you know, which team will he sign for, if either, for next year's GPs?
Halfway through the race, and Crivier makes his move. But again, so late is Norifumi Abe on the brakes. But he retains the lead. The Japanese leads the Spaniard in 2nd place.
And he got a much better line out the corner then as well, Paul. Looks like he's learnt the track a bit, actually, doesn't he? Sort of like used the same line twice a couple of times, eh?
It looks like he knows where he's going now.
Sliding it out of that corner, but then again you see Gravier, the Honda rider on Michelin's, Norifumi Abe, a Dunlop rider, and the Dunlops do tend to have that characteristic.
It's a long way. Up into 3rd place has gone Alexander Barros. And I notice he's still got his Lucky Strike Suzuki leathers on with lots of strategically applied duct tape in order to blank out the names of his old sponsors.
Yeah, it's an all-white machine there, no sponsorship on that machine, it's just Serge Rosset rock colours.
Barros and Checker, the battle for 3rd and 4th places. We will try and bring you news of exactly what happened to Neil Mackenzie. Just apologise for the temporary loss of the picture there. No, we're back with the action. Alexander Barros leading Carlos Checker in the fight for 3rd place.
And
it's the battle for the lead. Crivier again moving out of the slipstream. That's the battle for 3rd. Barros takes a look over his shoulder.
He moved across there to try and stop the Honda drafting, but even though wouldn't need to, because it's quicker and very unstable under brakes. Checo, and he tries to up the inside.
But Barros completely slammed the door on him there.
We haven't seen whether Gravier got the lead either yet.
These two a long way back in 3rd place, 3rd and 4th places.
But you see around this twisty section, you'll see Barros just ease a few lengths away. They come back onto the start and finish straight, and the Honda just closes right onto his back wheel.
And you caught a very brief glimpse of John Reynolds there in 5th spot. 5th place for JR. And if only he'd had a bit better a start.
Well, yeah, but I mean, he has actually dropped back a bit, though. You know, I think maybe his setup not quite as good as it was in practice.
Yes, that's possibly the case.
And Norifumi still leads by a couple of lengths as well there, Paul. Just edged a little. I'm sure that Gravier can close it up again, but at this stage he just edged away a couple of lengths there.
Barros and Checker slugging it out for 3rd place. The race leader, Norifumi Abe.
And he's in his draft again, he pulls out. Can he break later than Abe, though?
It's still Abe that leads. But the battle for 3rd spot still raging on. Checker up into 3rd. Yeah, great scrap going on there between Barros, the Brazilian, and the Spaniard, Carlos Checker.
Checker did that the hard way too. He went round the outside to outbrake him. As we see it in slow motion, you know, normally, obviously, they go up the other side. He goes over the top and just chucks it over the top, and it was very, very tight, that ball.
Well, they both came out at the end of the corner. But I don't think Barros is going to leave it at that, is he?
No, definitely not. He'll be down on power, so he's got to look in to get the drive on a bit earlier and try and get in position under brakes. And he does, you see, he gets onto the power earlier there than Checker. But at that point, no move there. You see him close under braking again, but he's just got to try and get a bit closer so he actually, when he gains those few feet under brakes, enough to take him by, and he gets a drive on very early.
Checker seems to have it under control on that part of the circuit anyway.
But he would have to stay that closer as they come onto the start and finish to try and hold the Honda's draft.
Only 5 laps to go. It's still Abe from Crivia. Then this terrific scrap for third place, and it's just a shake of the head there. The front end all over the place coming onto that start and finish straight. But he kept the power screwed on, and he's
very good at that section, Carlos Checker. He pulled out a few lengths there.
away. He pulled a lot there. I just wondered whether Barros had got some sort of a problem. No, he's still there. And there, right at the end of that straight, was John Reynolds, still in 5th position.
And a lonely 5th place it looks too now, Paul.
Yeah, it does look pretty lonely. Checker in 3rd.
And Barros goes right back up again, so obviously no problem for him.
Alexander Barros looking for a ride.
Well, that's true. It's another showcase for him as well, because he's obviously looking for a new team.
He's obviously, yeah, looking for a ride next year if he possibly can.
And Abe again, that's the biggest I think we've seen the gap, Paul.
I think that is the biggest we've seen the gap for the lead. Norifumi Abe ahead of Alex Crivia. Still that scrap for 3rd place raging on between Barros and Checker.
And you see their suspension squatting as he tried to get the power and the rear wheel spun. They're going to come on the start and finish straight now, and Barros in position. Can he outbrake him? With Checker very good on the brakes into this first turn.
Not close enough, I'd say. And for
right.
once, I'd be right.
You see again, he pulled those few lengths there. Barros closed you up towards the end of the lap. And through that first section, Checker very, very good.
Well, it was bad news for Neil Mackenzie so far in this race. Good start up there, and then a great disappointment for him, because it looked like he could have been heading for a rostrum placing of some description.
And Barros now moves right onto the back of him. He's going to try and get in position to retake that position. He knows he's got to lead, because if he can't pull out a few lengths, you know, the Honda will pass him maybe between the last corner and the line.
But it's not been all bad news for British motorcycle racing today, because in Australia early this morning, Carl Fogarty became the new World Superbike champion, clinching his first title with a win and a 2nd place at Phillip Island to win the World Championship, and in the end to win it emphatically. Carl Fogarty 25 points clear at the end of the title chase.
Oh! Greville there, as he hit the brakes just at the wrong moment, he hit a bump, and it really is unstable. The back was off the floor, the front twitched. A big moment there for Greville under braking for the first turn.
That's extremely lucky. He was completely
upright.
upright.
Motion, he just hits a bump wrong. Look at that. Back wheel comes up, goes out of line, and gives it a real twitch as it comes back down again.
Well, that will have cost him a yard or two. In fact, it has cost him a yard or two, but not very much. They're sliding it around that corner.
Traffic there. That
Great
is
stuff. Niggy Schmashman,
the famed GP rider from a couple of years ago, now competing in the German series. Gets out the way.
Niggy Schmashman, familiar to Eurosport viewers from his Grand Prix exploits a few years ago. He was regularly seen being lapped in 500cc races, and he's carried on where he left off.
Greville very close now.
Greville making a move, is he? Up the inside? No.
But they'll come on to start and finish straight, and he'll be right in the draft, and the superior speed of the Honda should tell any second.
Well, time is running out as well, because not long to go before the checkered flag. And again, I don't think he's close enough. Well, only 2 laps to go. Or maybe he is. He pulls out of the slipstream. They brake hard for the right-hander, and Abe brakes later.
He does. Abe was quicker off the corner, you see. Although the Honda was a quicker machine, Abe had the power on early, and he pulled a few lengths as they came on to the start and finish, and the Honda closed up. But Abe just able to brake that bit later at the moment than Gravier.
And Norifumi Abe, well, he may not be the most elegant rider in the world, but it's being effective at the moment.
Very entertaining. He's young, you know, and determined. That's more.
Oh, he's certainly exciting.
Look at the black line he left as he spun the rear wheel out of that corner.
Speedway style from Abe. A huge, great, dark black line. And Abe is holding him off.
He certainly is. As we say, you know, he's a very, I think the word to use is like raw talent, you know, that's all there. And when he gets experience, he will be a real threat in the 500 World Championship.
Very, very exciting indeed. Norifumi Abe leading Alex Crivier in the battle for this first race of the 500cc Superprestiggio.
And we're coming up to crunch time, I believe, aren't we, Paul? We go through the chicane, one more right hand, then onto the start and finish straight.
And they'll begin their last lap. So time well and truly running out for Alex Crivier. He knows he's got to make his move. He's got good drive out of that corner.
That's the closest he's been. He's definitely in position. He should be able to take the lead now, but can he hold it under brakes?
He goes through on the inside. Does he get his nose ahead? No, he doesn't. Oh, dear, oh dear. Abe comes in from the outside. A momentary twitch as the rear tyre lost a bit of adhesion there.
I thought he was going to do, and Abe runs wide and Gravier out the inside. Has he got it? No, he's not going to give way, but he has to.
Crivier leads. Abe had to give way then. He made a mistake and he paid for it dearly. And the local crowd just loved that.
He just ran wide. He ran. Gravier doesn't want to imitate. He's up the inside. Abe tried to close him out, but he just had the line. But Abe trying everything he knows now. This is not over yet.
No, I think he might struggle to get past him on what remains of this lap. It's the last lap of this 16-lap race.
But if anyone can, Norifumi can.
He'll certainly have a go. We've got no doubt about that. He ran wide on that corner. No, the gap. The gap is too much for Norifumi.
He's down.
Norifumi Abe lost the front end. Down he went. Well,
just a light crash, but he just...
all the moments that he had survived, and that looked like a really soft crash, didn't it?
Yeah, I'm sure he's going to get on, and you see, he just comes in. He's run wide, though, you see, Paul. He's going to run off the track. And he tries to hold it, and he just like, the brakes on, the front wheel tucks, and down he goes. But really, you know, he'd made that mistake. He'd run wide. He made another mistake, lost a few lengths. He could have settled for second.
The race winner, Alex Crivier, this the battle for second place. Oh, through on the inside, just look at that. They'll never both come out of there. They do. Alex Barros is going to take...
The checkered flag across, and he took it. The guy got out of the way. Did you see that?
Indeed, I did. Well, it took his life in his hands. That means fourth place for John Reynolds.
Fifth for Neil Hodgson.
For Neil Hodgson. So, two good results from the two British riders.
Sixth for Andy Momola. I'm still getting my breath back from that, but that's one of the closest bits of overtaking.
Absolutely stunning. Down goes Norifumi Abe. Yeah, he was just trying desperately to save the situation there, and the front just couldn't hold on any longer.
And I think I saw him cross the line, though, in about 7th or 8th place there behind Andy Momola, Paul.
We'll wait and see if we get the results. Well, I just want to see that that dash in. Here we go. This is for second place.
Look at this. I mean, they must be touching. Look at it. You wouldn't believe it, but you know, both riders knew what was going on here. They gave each other just enough room, and a great finish. Watch the guy move.
Barros, let's just have a look as they dash for the line. Is it Barros that gets it? Yes, it is, but not by much. Barros second, third is Carlos Checa. The 1, 2, 3 then. Alex Crivier, Alex Barros and Carlos Checa, and 0.2 of a second is the gap given between first and second. The applause aboard that 500cc Yamaha France machine. He looks a bit fired up actually, doesn't he? 16 laps of this race, green flag at the back of the grid. Red flag man moves to the side of the track. The lights changed very quickly last time. Went red and then blinked green almost straight away. Let's have a look at it this time. Red and green, and they're away. Mackenzie got a good start this time.
Well, he chopped off John Reynolds, that's for sure. Oh, Gravier from the inside of the grid. It looks like Mackenzie's going to be second or third as they tip into the first corner.
Let's have a look. It's Crivier from Abe. Mackenzie once again third into the first corner. He needs to get nice and aggressive on the opening lap.
He said
Mackenzie
he
did come right across, didn't he? But he got a good start.
He did. I think he ruined John Reynolds' start.
Crivier. It's Crivier and Abe with Mackenzie slotted in third place around this opening lap of 16.
Barros fourth and John Reynolds in fifth. Then Carlos Checa, then Neil Hodgson, then Randy Mamola.
It's Alex Crivier who's setting the pace at the moment. Neil Mackenzie should be fairly fresh, none the worse the wear for his crash in the opening race. Alex Crivier means business, obviously, right from the very early stages. He was in there, and once again, it's Crivier and Abe who are pulling away at the front. Neil Mackenzie will need to defend that third place.
Abe again looking very threatening. This is the point where he went down at the end of the last race. He gets such an angle of lean on that machine.
He does certainly lean it over a long way, doesn't he? No question about that. Now, has all the hard work been worthwhile as far as Neil Mackenzie is concerned? They're working against the clock to get the bike prepared, and he's dropped back one place. It's Crivier from Abe. Checker in third. Fourth is Neil Mackenzie.
After you see Randy Mamola first of the next group, and behind him Joey Williams.
One lap completed then, and it's Alex Crivier that leads. 15 laps to go. And you can see John Reynolds tucking in there behind Alex Barros. Behind him it's Neil Hodgson, then Randy Mamola.
And Jerry Williams behind him, so a better showing this race for Jerry. A massive moment for Carlos Checa there as he put the power on coming out of that turn.
Power on just a bit too early. The rear tyre broke away, gripped, and that must have been a bit of a heart-stopping moment for Carlos Checa.
We see it in slow motion. You see him get on the gas as he comes out, and look at that six, picks him up out the seat. But he's really on the charge. He's right with Gravier and Abe. Look at this.
He was lucky to stay on then, without any shadow of a doubt. And this looks as if it might be a closer race.
And up the inside of Abe goes Checa to take second place.
Well, there's no... Oh, and another massive moment for Checa. Well, now look, calm yourself down, old chap.
He makes Norafumi Abe look sedate, doesn't he, Paul?
Let's have a look at that again.
Just the same thing, just too early on the gas. Look at that. He's so lucky to get away with that.
That must have given Abe a bit of a fright, to say the least. Neil Mackenzie now back in fifth position ahead of John Reynolds and Neil Hodgson.
Neil Hodgson hanging on to the back of John Reynolds. A great performance.
Crivier leads, Checa in second, Abe is third, then Barros, Mackenzie, Reynolds and Hodgson.
A good aerial shot there onto the start and finish race for the race leader, Alex Gravier.
Crivier still at the head of the pack. 3 Brits there, 5th, 6th and 7th.
And Abe still trying to look for a back and move to get back into second place. I don't think he quite believe what happened to him there. He thought, hang on a minute, no one does that to me.
And it's Crivier who's controlling things at the moment.
And Abe looking round the outside, gets the power and drifts the Yamaha there, and he'll go back up to second place, and Barros putting him under pressure.
But just look at Checa once again. That thing is not right, and again he's out of the saddle. He's been out of the saddle more often than he's been sitting on it.
And Barros up the inside, did he do it? We'll come back to shot now. No, he didn't.
But Barros trying well, very hard
and
indeed.
Up the inside, Abe back in the second place, and he's going to run wide and Checa back past him.
Oh, great stuff, and through goes Barros to take over third place. Oh dear, that was close. First, second and third is Crivier. Well, as we nip into the slow motion, that was how Abe went through.
Momentarily.
But he ran wide in doing it, and Checa immediately grabbed it back. It's Abe, Checa and Barros through into third place ahead of Norifume Abe and Neil Mackenzie. Then it's John Reynolds and Neil Hodgson.
Great race, the first one was good, but look at this tough of Gravier getting away as they hold each other up. But a great dive for second place.
13 laps to go. Arbe trying to go up the inside. Is that rear wheel hopping knock? This time Neil Mackenzie's right there. Neil Mackenzie nearly had his front wheel taken right away from him. Alexander Barros, the fastest lap of the race so far. Now, traditionally, Neil Mackenzie sort of gets warmed up in races, has a slow start, takes a while to get into his rhythm, but he looks like he's on the pace here.
He does. Neil looks great. He nearly lost his front wheel there, though, by trying to go underneath Arbe, but these three holding each other up, and Grivier getting away. Barros looks around the outside. He'll try and come underneath him as they come out of this turn. It's very tight.
So Grivier well out front, and then a four-man scrap for that second place, being led by Carlos Checa at the moment. Through on the inside goes Barros, though. Barros up to second, Checa now third.
Great performance by Barros. We said he's changed machines. This is a private rock machine. He set the fastest, and Arbe back up to third place, and does he hold it this time? Alex
Grivier, again, the fastest lap of the race. He's out on his own now, and he can afford just to get on with it. Out there, ploughing a lonely furrow. Up into third place.
Yeah.
Has gone Norifume Arbe behind Barros.
Checa back down to fourth, and Mackenzie right there in fifth.
But it's Norifume Arbe who's the man to watch. Alex Grivier leads. They're all over the track. Just look at that. That's Barros, Arbe, Checa, Mackenzie.
Oh, so tight there between Arbe and Checa. Checa tried to get out the inside, and Arbe just shut the door on him.
I wonder whether old Neil Mackenzie, our mate Neil, is thinking, I don't want any of this. I want to stay out of trouble here.
Well, it's only a short race, so you've got to get stuck in. Grivier getting away at the front.
He's still there at the back of that little group. Grivier is, I think, going to get away. I don't think there's anybody that's going to challenge him if things carry on like this, but Barros means business, isn't he? Barros is after him without a doubt. Barros in second, third is Arbe, then Checa and Mackenzie, then Reynolds and Hodgson.
And Arbe, you saw him there on that long corner, power sliding the Yamaha out of it again. Great stuff.
And the two Paget bikes holding their own.
New fastest lap for Barros now, 1:33.08. That's only slightly slower than the fastest lap in the first leg, so this race really hotting up.
Now Barros is the one that means business.
He's definitely closing in on Grivier now, I think, Paul.
Yes, you're absolutely right, he is. Norifume Arbe, oh dear, and behind him Carlos Checa. Well,
he's not used to the power of the 500 250 factory rider this year on the Honda, and I think the power characteristics of the 500 catching him out just once or twice.
It's still Alex Grivier that leads, 11 laps to go, still quite a long way.
And look at them weaving all across the circuit to try and break the draft, and it's Arbe in third, Checa trying to take third from him, but he's not going to do it.
They're all over the place, aren't they? Just explain a bit more closely what's the reason for that, Simon? The reason for them all being on different parts of the circuit.
Well, although it's only a short straight, you see, if you just take the straight line, which you're supposed to do, actually, you're not supposed to if you read the sporting code, but anyway, what they're trying to do is break the draft. If someone gets right close to the back of it, just pull out the draft and pass him down the straight, even if the machines were equal on performance.
Well, that's the top five: Grivier, Barros, Arbe, Checa and Mackenzie.
And Neil right with them, still great performance. John Reynolds also there, and a good showing from Neil Hodgson.
Alex Grivier still out front. Barros giving chase. Norifume Arbe in third spot. Now Arbe really will be very careful to not to throw it down the road again this time.
Arbe's style, for those of you with long memories, looks reminiscent of the way But Van Dolmen used to ride, Paul. What do you think?
Very similar, yeah, very similar. But Van Dolmen, the Dutch 500cc rider.
And Barros definitely closing, inching closer and closer to the rear wheel of Alex Grivier.
But at the moment, it's Grivier with the advantage. Barros in second, then Arbe in third spot, ahead of Carlos Checa. And you have to say, it's good stuff from Carlos Checa. Even though he looked a little worrying in the early stages, Oh, the curse of the fouler strikes again. I was saying it's a good performance from Carlos Checa, and what does he immediately go and do? Proves me wrong and falls from his machine. Well,
no, I think you're right, Paul. I think it was a good show. You know, he's a very determined young Spaniard, and you know, he grabbed his chance on the 500 with both hands.
Yeah, well, there's a real Spaniard in the works now. Carlos Checa out of the reckoning. Alex Crivia, Alex Barros, and Norifumi Abe, 1, 2 and 3, and there is a dejected Carlos Checa making his way back towards the paddock, thinking, well, have I thrown my big chance? Is that the end of the line for me?
No, I don't think so. I think the Cito Bonds team will be very happy with his performance. I'll tell you what, that crash there has cost Neil Mackenzie some time. If he's not careful, he'll drop back into the class of John Reynolds.
Yes, Neil Mackenzie obviously held up by that. Meanwhile, things are hotting up at the front. Before very long, we're going to see the fastest lap again has gone to Alex Barros, and that's quicker than the pole time.
And I think about the same as the fastest lap in the last race, Paul. Arbe also moving on to this, is a three-man scrap for the lead because Norwick has refound some speed.
You have to say the one that's most impressive here is Barros, isn't it? Because the other two are actual full works bikes.
That's true. I mean, I think a great showing from Alex Barros. He's got a lot to prove, though. He needs a seat for next year, and he's showing his performance the best way he can.
Alex Barros currently in second spot. Neil Mackenzie in fourth place ahead of Reynolds and Hodgson, and 3 Brits in the top 6 can't be bad. Alex Crivia, though, that leads from Barros and Abe, and then a lonely Mackenzie quite a little way back, and John Reynolds giving chase.
Yeah, like I say, 8 laps to go. I think there's a chance that John could catch up with Neil, and we'll see a good scrap for fourth between the 2 Brits.
And why aren't we seeing Sean Emmett in this race?
Well, there was I spoke to Sean at the last Brands Hatch meet, and Sean was very keen to come and do this race. But Harris has had a commitment, the Shell team Harris had a commitment to go and do the Macau race, because Shell very big in the Far East, as you know, Paul, and so there was no machine available for Sean, which is a pity, because Sean wanted to go out on a high in this race. And
I think Sean would have acquitted himself well here at Albacete, but that's not to be. The fastest lap of the race has gone to Norifumi Abe,
and that is the fastest lap of the day as well, Paul.
Indeed. Took the words right out of my mouth. Now the scrap for first and second. It's getting closer. Barros, look at that head right down. He's right on the rear wheel of Alex Crivia, and they're waiting to take advantage of any mistake by those two. Norifumi Abe.
Just talking about Sean Emmett and Alex Barros, really, I think both those riders, you know, the Suzuki are hard bikes to set up, and this Yamaha seems to suit Alex Barros' style to a T.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it? He's got it dialed in very, very quickly, because he's only had this meeting to do it. 3 sessions of practice and then the previous race, and just look at his corner speeder there.
On the gas much earlier than Gravia, and he needs to be, because his bike won't be as quick, but he's looking for a move for the lead now.
But he's going to struggle to try and out-draft him down the straight, surely.
Well, he will if he can get the power early and get into his draft, though. He maybe just hold him and get in position to outbrake him. In a massive moment for Arby, and he just wheelies away from it.
Oh, dear, oh dear. That's a huge, heart-stopping moment for Norifumi Abe. Crivia and Barros, the 2 Alexes at the front of the field, first and second, the Spaniard and the Brazilian. Alex Crivia on the factory Honda, and Alex Barros.
You see it pull away a few lengths, some acceleration
definitely.
There, Paul.
Well, what it means is that Alex Barros is actually riding the wheels off his machine. He hasn't got the power of the factory Honda on his standard Rock Yamaha.
That's the first 3, and Neil still in 4th, and John Reynolds not getting onto terms with him.
No, Neil Mackenzie quite a long way back in 4th, but still well clear of John Reynolds in 5th position. Neil Hodgson still in 6th place, and it's still Crivia out front from Barros and Abe. And Abe coming up the inside. Is Abe going to take 2nd place? No, not this time. Still terrific stuff. Again, all action at the front of the 500cc field here. Alex Barros and Norifumi Abe scrapping it out for 2nd place. Alex Crivia just ahead of them in the lead in this exciting 500cc race. top 5, Crivia, Barros and Abe.
And less than a second separating the top 3. This is a great race, just as good as the first one, if not better.
Well, let's hope that they all stay there until the checkered flag, and they're all scrapping it out right in the closing stages of this race.
You see the twisty section here, Paul. They close right onto the rear wheel again of Alex Crivia, and they come out onto the start and finish track, and he pulls a few lengths away, so they've got to try and get in his draft.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot quicker, the Honda, but then it's a full factory works bike, so I suppose it should be, really. Alex Crivia, though, good rider.
Barros very early on the power then, trying to stay in his draft. He's going to come under pressure from Abe again now, though. Actually, though, at this point in the circuit, no need to bite quick. Crivia is actually very good at this point, which is crucial, because it's the last few corners leading on to the start and finish straight, which is where they need to try and be quicker than him to get a draft. And he is quicker as they come on to the start and finish straight there, Barros.
You would think, certainly, that Alex Crivia ought to have this circuit off to a tee. The Spaniard is bound to have ridden here more times than Abe and Barros. Abe, it'll be the first time here, and Abe goes through to take second. No, he doesn't. Again, Barros has got that line deep. Abe keeps trying to go in deep on the right-hand side of the circuit, but that doesn't seem to be the right line. He's trying it again here, up the inside. My God, he leads over a long way.
Again, you see Barros here gets to drive on early. He gets a great line out of this corner and trying to close onto the back end to get an opportunity under brake to take the lead.
Well, as I said, Barros absolutely riding the wheels off that Rock Yamaha. But it's still Crivia out front, Barros in second place, Abe in third spot, Neil Mackenzie's fourth, ahead of John Reynolds in fifth, and Neil Hodgson in sixth place.
And again, just a few crucial lengths away from his challengers, Alex Crivia pulls away.
The Marlborough Team Roberts factory Yamaha of Norihiko Abe.
They're not close enough, they're not in position again. I mean, even if they could hold the draft, they're not quite close enough to the factory Honda.
I wonder if Crivia has up the pace slightly. Interesting to see what the score is on the lap time. On the start and finish one more time, just 5 laps to go, and they're definitely further back than they were. Now that time Barros definitely defended that right hand side of the track, that inside line.
Yeah, but that's costing him time, of course. I think Crivia is just inching away.
And Abe knows that time is running out for him. But he's about to mount an attack by the looks of it. No, not quite close enough that time.
He didn't actually try then, did he, Paul? But previously he tried to take a tight inside line and cut off Barros, but yes, that time he didn't. I was
trying to... I thought that that's what he was going to do, and I thought he was winding up for it, but he didn't, in fact.
Again, he power slides the factory Yamaha out of that turn.
Loads of black lines coming out of that turn, and a lot of them laid by Abe himself. Crivia, Barros and Abe, 1, 2 and 3. This time around, there'll be just 4 laps to go.
Having a chat with Carlos Checa there to find out, you know, what caused his crash. Probably just over-exuberance, I do feel.
I think it was a bit of over-exuberance. He was trying real hard right from the start. He had a couple of difficult moments early on.
That's one way of putting it.
And in the end, a difficult moment just when I was saying how impressive he'd been.
And Crivia now, Paul, he does look to just have control of this race.
Yeah, Alex Crivia looks well under control in the lead of this race. Crosses the finish line with 4 laps remaining. 4 laps, about 10 racing miles, just under 10 racing miles. Up on the inside has gone
Abe,
and Abe goes through. The rear wheel then completely off the ground as he braked for that right-handed corner.
But he's off in hot pursuit now of Alex Crivia. Abe inches away from Barros, and he's only thinking about victory. That's all that's on his mind. I'm sure second place is not good enough for him. He's closed up dramatically, Paul, in these few turns. Look at this. He's going to power slide that machine out just like before. Look at that.
Well, it looks like it's all or nothing for Norihiko Abe, and this is how he did it.
In slow motion, he pulls out the draft under brake so late, the back coming off the floor, the machine twitching, but he just wants to make that move stick, and he takes second place, and he's closed now right onto the wheel of Alex Gravea, and we are in for a real grandstand finish now, Paul.
He's pulling out all the stops. The 24-year-old Spaniard's leading at the moment, but the 19-year-old Japanese rider has got him in his sights, and he's going to be trying absolutely everything that he possibly can to get by and make amends for that first race crash.
He's closing and he's going to try and draft him. These are two factory bikes. The Honda should be fractionally quicker, but the Norifumi Abe probably fractionally more determined. He's right there in position. He'll be looking under brakes at the end of the start and finish straight, I'm sure. Look at this, Paul.
And he's in the slipstream. He goes up the outside. He's not quite close enough, I don't think. Oh no, look at that braking. Oh.
He had a go though, didn't he?
He certainly did have a go. I didn't think that he was close enough to try, but he did.
And again here, closing. He's going to try. Oh, he looked like he was going to have a look at the inside. Is he going to have a look here? No, he doesn't. He checks again. He's so close though.
Norifumi Abe and Alex Gravea. Gravea by far the more experienced rider, but Abe's got youth on his side. Just look at that. Spectacular stuff from Norifumi Abe. Come on, who's your money on, Simon? Who's going to win this race?
Well, if he stays on, my money's on Abe, but I wouldn't want to put any money on him because you just couldn't tell. And he's going to have a look, I think, up the inside here. They'll come out here, he rides around the outside. The next corner's the other way, and he's...
No, he's decided against that. And
well, he fell off there last time. Probably.
That's right. Obviously approaching that corner with a bit of caution.
Who's you going to put a bet on it? Who would you say is going to win, Paul?
I think Crivia's got the measure of him. Alex Crivia pulling off a massive wheelie then from Abe.
And these two trying so hard, they've just dropped Alex Barros off a fraction.
They've upped the pace considerably. On to the start and finish. One more time. 2 laps remaining in this race.
And Gravea out the pace definitely, like Norifumi was quick on the start and finish lap before, but Gravea just a couple of lengths ahead, but Norwich outbrakes him and closes right back onto the rear wheel.
Abe, lean and hungry, desperate to win at all costs. And a very exciting talent, one of the most exciting talents we've seen appear on the 500cc scene for a long, long time.
Great line there, Paul. You see he checks his line to gain. You know, Norwich really sort of thinks this out a bit now. He's got some good lines around this circuit that's unfamiliar to him. And he tries to get in his draft and dive out, and he'll get a chance under brakes for this turn. He's not close enough. And traffic just ahead of him. We'll have to look and see who that is.
Yeah, the tail enders. Oh, it's Nicky Smashman. What a surprise.
And Norwich has a look at the inside, but no.
No, he was never going to make that. He wasn't close enough, but he's on the outside now. Is the traffic going to play a part?
Nicky,
on the inside. They touched. Did they touch then? It looked very like it to me, but he's got away with it. They're both round the outside of Nicky Smashman as they head onto the last complex of corners.
It's a chicane I think they're coming to now, then 2 rights that lead on to the start and finish, Paul. And Norwich there, he momentarily had the lead, but Gravea is having none of it. This is going to be a grandstand last lap.
Well, he's not quite close enough to do anything up the straight, I don't think.
End of 500 racing this year, I think we're going to see the best possible finish to it, and he is. He's getting
he is
draft.
indeed. It's going to be a terrific last lap between Alex Crivia and Norihiko Abe. Is he going to try under braking for this corner? He takes the wide line. He tries to go all the way around the outside. He's lining up to do it.
Using every last millimetre of track that was on the white line as he brakes. He's good into this corner. Is he going to hang wide, or is he going to have a look on the inside here? He looks the inside. He's gone up the inside.
He goes for it. There's no turning back now, but he fails to do it on that occasion, and I think that could be his chance gone. I said Alex Crivia had the measure of him, but Norihiko Abe hasn't read the script. He hasn't given up yet. Barros is still giving chase in 3rd place, but in the battle for the lead, it's still Crivia just holding off all the challenges of Norihiko Abe. Abe trying absolutely everything that he can.
Round the outside, he's going to have a look and try and get inside for the next corner. He's so close to him. Look at this. The machine like sliding as he gives the power, gives every last bit he can get out of this Yamaha. There's not many corners to go now, though.
And Krivia changed his line then to defend that position.
Well spotted, Paul.
It's still Alex Krivia who's holding just the slenderest of advantages over Norihiko Abe, and I think Abe's given up. No, he hasn't. No, he's
Acceleration
right back with him again now.
Acceleration showed there, but they're going to come. He's going to have to brake very late for this. There's only 2 corners to go after this. It's now or never for Abe. Oh, in a moment, that's it.
Abe sits up, that's it. Krivia only has to round the final quarter to win this race. He charges towards the line. It's Alex Krivia, the former World 125 champion, who wins it. Abe second, Barros is third. And a long wait before we see, or rather we don't see, the 4th place man who should have been Neil Mackenzie. But what a great battle between Alex Krivia. The crowd like that, they're plenty happy with the proceedings. Another great 500cc race. What a cracker.
Absolutely superb. Abe totally committed, tried everything he knew, but at least he knew when to give up this time.
There's the 1, 2, 3. Krivia, Abe and Barros. And I think that was Neil Mackenzie we just caught a glimpse of in the background then.
Well, his team worked hard. They got the bike ready just in time. And really, 4th place, a good effort by Neil.
Oh, very good indeed. But what a fabulous talent. Yep, there's Neil Mackenzie there.
And John Reynolds with him.
A couple of massive wheelies from Abe and Krivia. There's John Reynolds. And, well, what sort of a future do you think Norihiko Abe has got? Is he a future world champion?
Not if you me, Paul. But I think, yeah, he could be the